So yes, I'm Sonia, I'm a clinical psychologist. And what is a clinical psychologist doing at a tech conference? So I'm here to tell you that I work with tech companies. I'm married to a developer, and I've given birth to at least one developer, maybe two, if she can focus. Question. So I understand the world that you live in, the cerebral nature of the job, the pressure to perform, and also all of this talk about how your role is going to change, about how the future is very uncertain, and recruitment's a little bit of a mess right now as well. So the thing that I understand the most is the brain that does not switch off. And I've focused in my career on decoding the mind, so trying to understand the mind. And that's what I want to help you with today. So I want to give you a cheat sheet that you can put in your back pocket in case you need it, in case any of this uncertainty starts to become a little bit too scary. I'm going to tell you a little bit about how uncertainty exists for me as a founder and a psychologist. It's a messy story. Prepare yourselves. So a few months ago, my developer husband was unwell. He asked for some soup. I said, OK, reasonable, maybe. And at the same time, my eldest child, the other developer, was also sick. My toddler refused to go to the toilet, point blank. So there's soup on the hob. Meanwhile, I'm getting all these emails from this company that wants to partner with us. Agree the terms, now. We're going to write up a contract, and oops, I'm not technical, as you can tell. And agree the terms and basically just get on with it. So I'm a little bit irritated. I pass on all this information to my mentor, who's a wonderfully calm CCO, except, of course, I forget to send half the information to him. So he's then emailing me at the same time. So I'm getting all these emails. And then comes the final straw. I hear a scream from the other room. My toddler never made it to the toilet. So obviously, how is this related to uncertainty? Everything with uncertainty is like this. It's chaotic, it's multi-layered, it's stressful, you're under-resourced, you're trying to survive, essentially. You're not your best. And so that's what I'm going to try and tackle today by kind of helping you understand ways that you can work with this. So what happens when you are faced with uncertainty, whether it's an individual or a team that's looking at change, is we have these things called defenses. So our brains are a little bit like anxious parents. They want us to cross the road, but they don't want us to get hurt. So they put these walls up. All of these are psychological defenses, and they're walls. They're there to protect us temporarily, which is the important part. So these are really basic defenses. Everybody uses them. The first one I will look at is denial. So we just pretend everything's fine. It's a bit like la, 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 nothing's happening. Obviously, if you take that to the extreme, you won't benefit, because pretending that these changes are not going to happen is not going to help you move forward. Retreat, again, isolating yourself, backing away, distracting yourself, that's OK for a while. It's OK to recharge. But doing that again to the extreme means you're kind of hiding from the problem. You're not going to move forward. Attack is an interesting one. Attack can work, again, in a small dose. You have a strategy, you have a plan. But if it goes into overdrive, it's all this needless criticism. If you spend most of your time kind of trolling AI products on the internet, it's just not going to help. So it's about these things existing in small doses. So small doses would look like this. So denying reality to buy us time, retreating when we need to recharge, and attacking when we have strategy, not with panic. So when your anxious brain lets you calm down a little bit, it will allow you to use these psychological tools I'm going to talk to you about. So there's 4 psychological tools. The first one is about catching your thoughts. So your brain, like I said, is designed to protect you. It's not really going to tell you the truth a lot of the time. It's going to tell you these cautionary tales, these things that might happen 5% of the time, not 95% of the time, because it doesn't want you to suffer. So it's really important to understand that a thought is just a thought. It doesn't deserve your belief all the time. Some of your thoughts are going to be laden with emotion, and once the emotion passes, the thought will just pass with it, and it will go away. Some of your thoughts will be recurring, and those ones are usually related to something in the past. But you have to sit with your thoughts long enough to understand them and figure out where they're coming from. Number 2 is to know the difference between problem solving and worry. Now, I'm sure you're all brilliant when it comes to problem solving. You must use this at work all the time. You know, it's a concrete process, it's documented, you look at pros and cons and make a decision, and it moves you forward, moves you towards action. Worry doesn't do that. Worry remains in here, it's very abstract, and it just keeps going round and round. It's these what-if questions. And again, it's that probability of 5% probability of something happening instead of what usually happens most of the time. So if you catch yourself worrying, because you did step 1, you need to think about whether you can do anything with that worry, whether you can do anything with that right now. If you can't, just let it pass, because it will pass. So I'm going to show you an anxiety curve. So this is what normally happens to anxiety. So it will increase, it will peak, sometimes in a bit of panic, and then it will come down. That's my live demo. I'm coming down now. I'll be asleep in about an hour. So number 3, riding that wave. So trying to regulate and ride that wave is really important. You don't have to be stress-free all the time. That's not human, that's not realistic, particularly with the environment that you're in. But you can try and steady yourself. And that's going to depend on how your brain is actually wired. So some of you will be emotionally expressive. You'll have places or people that you go to that can help understand how you feel about something, break things down, put that into a strategy. Those people, if that isn't working already, need to do something physical. You need to take all of that energy that you might use talking, put it into your body. So that will be things like exercise, breathing, mindfulness, whatever you want to do. The endorphins will carry you through the cycle to the come down. If you're somebody who doesn't talk and doesn't have a safe space, or anywhere you can go to kind of contain that, it's really useful if you do try a little bit to get that containment, to speak to someone. But it's really, really important that that person or the people you speak to can contain it, that they don't let you spiral and worry and it gets worse and progressively just turns into a bit more of a problem. How do you know that a person does that for you? After you've spoken to them, you feel calmer and you're not worrying as much. If you experience the opposite, that's not the right person for you. Progress over perfection. So this is really about tackling uncertainty using an iterative process. So trial and error, trial and error. I'm sure you do this all the time when you're faced with new tech. You know, you don't have to be an expert at something before you try. You have to kind of build the skills as you go along. But you need to be selective about what you actually occupy your brain with. This one is all about containing things and being strategic. So instead of worrying about something all week, you have 2 hours a week, or maybe that 20% thing that Tricia was talking about, you have this time in the week where you will focus on that. And the rest of the time, when you worry about it, you say, well, I'm going to focus on that from 10 till 12 on a Friday afternoon, no, morning even. It's really easy to drown in the knowledge out there. The volume seems to be insane, so it's really key that you rely on communities and reliable sources out there rather than kind of trying to wing it. So using strategy again. So those are the 4 steps. I think one important thing that we kind of miss when it comes to uncertainty is that it actually gives us an opportunity. It allows a system to be flexible. And I know that you're used to working in flexible systems. When things are rigid and we do the same thing over and over again, they're also brittle. They can break under pressure. And they really don't allow us to grow. So I think it's really important to kind of use this uncertain, chaotic, messy time as an opportunity to shape things. Not to be passive and sit back, but to shape how things go in the future. And that's how I see you guys. I see you guys as creatives, builders. And I'm excited to see what you're going to be building. You all will be here at the end of that process. No one's going away. Maybe you pivot, maybe you adapt. Wonderful. But you will be here at the end. So Thanks for listening to a psychologist at a tech conference. And feel free to grab me later on and have a chat. I told you I'm not technical. And enjoy DevOps.